What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome back to Atlas Theory. I have a very special guest with me today. This is somebody who I've worked with in the background, not so much like in the foreground yet, but we'll get there. He is a metaverse personality, artist, member of Final Frontier. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. And we're gonna kind of just deep dive into the story of Arktykpe and his kind of grand vision here for what he really wants to do with Star Atlas and the metaverse. So, how you doing today? Let's dive
Yeah,
into
man. I'm good. It's
it.
great. It feels like I'm watching one of your shows, but actually I'm inside it. It's crazy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I was kind of browsing around. You run arkttypenft.com.
Yeah.
I was kind of browsing around and I found a story kind of like kind of your origins or why you do art in the first place. This $43 story. Do you want to get
Yeah.
into that a little bit and or just kind of explain your origins?
Yeah, cool. So I've been drawing from a pretty young age. My dad is an amazing artist.
Hmm.
So he really taught me like the fundamentals. But I can't paint like him. He's incredible. I couldn't hold a candle to what he does. But I learned the fundamentals from him, and I did my own sort of style, and I found my little niche of what I liked. And yeah, I started from there, and I just started creating my own stuff probably in my early 20s.
Okay.
But I didn't really have much encouragement, even so like people close to me. Like I had a fiance at the time, and we had a house, and she didn't want to put any of my artwork up because she wanted that picture perfect sort of like magazine home.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was really discouraged, but I still kept doing it. And eventually like we went our separate ways, and it was in that moment when I just decided to say yes to everything. And all the things that I would tell myself no, or I'd be too afraid to do. And one of them was a live art, a live art performance, which was at like a local cafe bar.
Okay.
And I was there one night, and the owner came up and started talking to my friend, and she dobbed me in, and she's like, "Arktykpe here. He's an artist," and he said, "Oh, do you want to do one of these live events one time?" And in my brain, I said no. But for some reason, I said yes. And I think it was that mentality, that state that I was in, that I just wanted to say yes to everything that I was afraid of. And so I was nervous because I don't usually paint, I usually draw. And so the following week, I was up there painting. And I just said a prayer to myself, like, whatever happens, like whatever money I get from this, because it was a live auction as well, I just want to give it away. But not only that, I want to see where this money goes. I don't want to just give it to a charity and not see what impact it has. And I remember praying that, and then I went in. I was nervous, and I think I did all right. The painting was pretty good, but it sold for $43. And I remember the owner came up to me at the end of the night and handed me this envelope, and it had like a big permanent marker. It had $43 written on the front of this thing. And I remember pocketing it, walking outside. It was winter, like nighttime, pretty cold. And I was thinking, all right, now let's see this money get put to use. Like, I want to see where this goes. And I literally went about 3 shops down the road towards my car. And yeah, there was this guy, this homeless guy sleeping there. And he had a cardboard sign, and he had a little mat with some change on it, but it was too dimly lit. I couldn't read what was on there. And so I sat down next to him, and I was just like, "Hey man, like, what's your story? Like, what's your sign say?" And yeah, he just shared with me that he was just a normal dude, just like me. And he went through a pretty rough patch with his wife, and she divorced him, and he was sleeping in his car. He had nowhere to go. He lost his job, and he had nothing. And they took his kids away from him. He wasn't allowed to see them because he didn't have a residence. And all he was wanting was just a couple of dollars to pay for a deposit for a rental. And if he had that, he could see his kids again. And I was just like, whoa, like, it was, so how much do you need? And he counted the little coins in front of him and he said to me, I need $43. And like, even I'm telling the story now, I'm getting goosebumps. And yeah. I just reached into my pocket and I just looked at this envelope and I'm like, dude, this is yours. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but this is yours. You're meant to have this. Yeah. And he just looked at me with like the biggest shock on his face. And he just started just bawling his eyes out. And he's just like, who are you, dude? Yeah. Who are you? And it was just such a good moment. We both stood up and just hugged it out for like the longest time. Oh, and yeah, it was a pretty special moment. But the craziest thing is like, that's when I knew like, this is what I'm meant to do. Like my two passions in life are to create in whatever medium that is. Like I enjoy art, but I also enjoy building furniture and cooking and just anything that's creative. And then my other big passion in life is to help people. And if I can do both of those, like if they can go hand in hand somehow, that's the kind of life I want to live. So yeah, that was really the start. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't even have the words, so I'm not going to attempt, but like that's magical and beautiful. And it gives me goosebumps, like you're saying, you know, as you were telling it. Like now, what was next? What was the next part of your journey? Maybe after that led you into eventually either traveling or finding Star Atlas, or what was next? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So next, it really motivated me to follow both those passions. So I started selling my artwork. Didn't make a lot of money with that. And the other thing was, just looking for opportunities to travel overseas and to help make a difference. When I was 15, I remember watching a video on people that went overseas and just like built houses, schools, all that sort of thing. And that really gave me a passion. And I chose a trade as a cabinet maker and joiner just to learn some hand skills. So I skipped the whole university idea. I could have done that, but I was following that passion from a pretty young age, like 15. And I think once I got into the workforce and I started earning money, I lost that dream. Like I just ended up in that rat race. And so it was just a reminder, like all the things that I'd just been through, that I'm not anchored down to anything anymore. And I can go and do this, and I need to reignite that dream that I had. So it took me 2 years to sell my house that I had. Broke even on it, actually went backwards a little bit, had no money, sold everything that I had, quit my job, cashed in my holiday pay that was accrued. And I had just enough money to live for 1 year. And so I went over and I found an opportunity with a children's orphanage in northern Thailand. Okay. It was a girls' home, and I spent some time there and just teaching, and built some playgrounds and did some cool stuff like that. And then the guy who ran the home, he had a friend visit. She was from Australia, but she had a home that she started in Cambodia. Okay. And we were just at dinner one time. She was telling me about it, and I just fell in love with her story and what she was doing. And I said, well, like my time's finishing up here. Can I come visit your home? And she kind of laughed. She's like, what do you want to come to Cambodia for? Like, no one wants to come to Cambodia. I'm like, yeah, I want to come. Yeah. And I just met her that day. So it was kind of weird for her. And I just said, like, if it's meant to be, like, there'll be a ticket. So I went down to the local bus station. There was one ticket left, and it was the seat next to her.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My whole life is stories like this. Like you got no idea. So we spent the next 30 hours going from northern Thailand down to Bangkok and then into Siem Reap, Cambodia. And that was a journey, doing the border crossing and spending that long traveling. But I got to her home. She was she just rented this big home, and she was just paying everything out of her own pocket. And just the young guys that she would meet just in town, she would just start talking to them and get to know their story. And then she would invite them back to her place for free accommodation, for free rent. And what they were boys out in a village, and they'd come into the town to get a better education, but they needed money to survive. They needed to pay rent. They needed to do all these things. These are like late teenage years, early 20s, still going to high school, like trying to catch up on their education. And then the study life over there is just like they're at school at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're not home till like 5 or 6. And then they're working a night job just to pay for things. And so they're like getting no sleep. And she would just try and hang out in the lounge room and just sort of catch them in between them coming home from school and just tutoring them and just mentoring them.
Yeah.
And she had no help. So I just fell in love with her story and what she was doing. And I started helping her find sponsors and to help sort of document these guys' lives and what their story is and stuff. And yeah, and then she fell ill one day and she got diagnosed with late stage cancer. And so she had to go back home basically to die. She knew that treatment wasn't going to work. And she handed me this envelope, going back to the envelope story. She handed me this envelope and she's like, this is everything that you've raised. This is everything for this home. And if you want to keep running the home, it's yours. Like, I'm passing the baton on to you. And, I was late 20s. Like, I still felt pretty young and not really sort of up for the task, but there I was, like, it was happening and I was the only one to take that on. So, so I just went for it and yeah, just helped run that home for another year. She ended up passing away. So ran that home with my wife, who I met over there, and she's a champion. She really helped me through all of that. And we ran it for a year, and we got the boys to see through like their school year, and we got them into university and jobs, and then we eventually closed the home rather than take on new boys.
Okay.
And the reason for that was we were starting a young family of our own, and so that needed our attention. And also the founder, she really wanted to see these guys get out on their own 2 feet, leave the nest, and not become dependent. So that was a true experience, like, to go through all that. And I feel like no matter how much you put into experiences like that, and no matter how much you give of yourself, you always end up rewarded more than what you give. Like, you always receive more. Like, it's no matter how much you try. And so I just feel so rich from that experience. So yeah, that I would say that would be the next sort of thing that happened in my journey.
Yeah. Next, dude, I'm I'm gonna move on to the next question because I fear that anything I say would come across insincere or like not the right words. What destiny? Like, what, what a path. Yeah. So that led you then back to Australia at that point, or?
I spent another 4 years there after the home. And I did a bunch of other stuff. I ran a design company, and we did a lot of volunteer work for a local church doing media. I learned a lot doing that just on the fly. but yeah, I employed a bunch of guys, and we found work locally and internationally. I trained them up in everything that I learned, and just gave them a crash course on all the software and all the things that I knew, and just said, like, what's your passion? Which one of these things do you like? Let's explore that. And so yeah, they worked with me for a while, and then eventually, like, yeah, I moved back to Australia just a little bit before the whole COVID thing.
Okay.
I wanted to we wanted to have citizenship for my wife in case we ever got split up, which looking back was probably the right time, considering, because we could have been split up quite easy with the whole COVID thing and visas and stuff. So yeah, she's just about got her citizenship here, and so we'll be moving back very shortly.
Yeah.
To Cambodia, which I'm pretty excited about.
So that I guess that brings us to the Twitter thread that
yes,
I read. Was it like yesterday or the day before that it was posted? Yeah, just talking about going back in 2023 and kind of your plans that I'll let you speak on for what you're gonna do next.
Yeah, so yeah, next definitely moving back to Cambodia, and then I need to find online work. I hate my job at the moment, if anyone's listening.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah, that would just give me the ability to earn income over there. I can definitely find work over there. I still have a good reputation there, but I want to do something that I like doing, not something just to pay the bills. So yeah, I'm looking to find work between now and then. And then once I'm there, like, I want to basically set up similar to what I had before with a design studio, but I think it could be something much more than that. And so I started a wallet. I don't know if you call it a charity wallet. It's just a wallet that I've just been putting anything that I've won into that wallet. I've been putting some of my own personal Atlas rewards into that as well, and just trying to accumulate some Star Atlas spaceships. And the plan is that it will keep compounding until there's a healthy amount of spaceships in there. I know that when Scream comes out, that it won't be as passive. So at that point, I think I'll put a stop to buying spaceships and actually just start accruing either Atlas or Polis.
Okay.
Put that into the staking mechanism so that it keeps growing. But then I want to take some of the profits and start to donate to in real life charities. And there's a number of them that I have in mind in Cambodia that I'm very close to. Reach Siem Reap, which I've shared a couple of their posts before. Love to donate to them. That's something near and dear to my heart. But then also, like, open to suggestions if people want to send me links to anything. And so yeah, I really want to grow that. The other side of it is, with the spaceships, is I want to start a scholarship with the people that come into the design studio. So we would have free workshops. We would have training on Star Atlas, Play to Earn, blockchain, financial literacy, and then anything design related that they wanted to learn. And from that, I think that I'll find people that are passionate, people that might want to be employed by myself, or just use that space as a collaborative workspace. And then just lend them the spaceships for free, so that they're not having to come up front with anything, that they can just ease into it and see if it's something that they like. And if they do and they're good at it, then it can be a source of income for them.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess it's a three-stage thing, really. I want to educate.
Okay.
Because I feel that Cambodian people, they're so talented, they're so creative, they're so hardworking, they're so passionate, and they can see that that goal that they want to get to, but they don't know how to get there.
Okay.
And if you put the right tools in front of them and you show them how, man, they will kill it. Like,
awesome.
They will do so well. So step one is to educate. Step two is to really like replicate. So the people that are coming through, to have them excited and passionate that they can build their own fleet, they can build their own clientele with their design or whatever they choose to do, and then they can teach. And I think that if they can be passionate and teach their people in their native language, it's going to be far more impactful than anything that I can do. So yeah, that's definitely step two. And then step three really is for me just to step away, like let them own this thing, like let it be theirs. Just make myself redundant basically. So yeah, that's the passion.
Love it.
That's the dream.
Yeah. That's awesome. So like, how do you even, would you start that? Like, is it a company, or is it just like before you would maybe rent out a location and start buying up equipment, or
yes. So previously I just rented an office space and just threw every bit of money that I had into buying computers. A few people donated to me last time when they knew what I was doing, and yeah, just go from there. Start small and grow.
Yeah, that's great. Now I have to ask, because I know I'm going to get comments about it. Would you feel comfortable having like that address dropped either in the description or in the comments if anybody wanted to drop some ships or Atlas polos? Or is this like a later thing?
I mean, like I posted the address, like people can see that. Okay. And eventually, yes, I think it would be cool to have donations. The thing that makes me hesitant about that is, well, first of all, I posted it to be transparent, because that's the beauty of the blockchain is,
right.
If I say I'm doing these things, like I want to back that up. Okay. And so you can have a full history of that wallet and see where it started and see what transactions have taken place and see if anything moves out of there. It's locked in there. Like I ain't touching it. It's not mine. Like I don't consider it mine. And so yeah, like I would love to take donations, but at this point I'm trying to learn how to make this thing bigger than myself. Okay. Two reasons. One is because this isn't about me, and I don't want any glory for this. I don't like to tell the left hand what the right hand's doing. I don't like to be public with things that I do as far as donations go. But it could be something like a DAO. It could be a proper charity. And for that to happen, I still have to learn how to set up a wallet that could be multi-signature, that could be decisions made by a board of people, like-minded people like myself, trusted people that make decisions on what happens with it. Okay. And it's just to protect myself and the whole thing that I'm trying to grow as well. So previously when I did fundraising, I did it through Facebook, and it was me, it was my face, my name, everything. And I still had strangers commenting on things like, we know what you're really doing with the money and you're a fraud. It just blew my mind. Like it was heartbreaking. And I don't want that to happen again. So, I mean, I'm putting the call out. If anyone knows anything about that sort of thing, please hit me up. I can't really stop people if they want to donate to it, but I would just say, if you want to help me find a way to get this set up properly, and we can do the donation thing later.
Sounds great. Yeah. Now I want to do a discussion about metaverse personalities, but I feel like I should have you on for a part 2 for that. I feel like this has like a complete story to it.
Yeah.
And really, yeah, I don't want to dilute that with other discussions, even though I think that one is also very important. And I think something you and I are going to have a lot of fun bouncing back and forth on. So I'll maybe just
Absolutely.
tease the audience here with that. But where can anybody watching find you and kind of get involved in your story?
Yeah. So I'm always on Twitter. That's a bit more interactive if you want to get a hold of me. Open to any messages with people that want to chat about absolutely anything. People that want help with something. You know, my door's always open, so you can grab me there. If you want to see more of like what I do art-wise, you can go to arkttypenft.com. And you'll just see a bunch of stuff that I love to do.
Awesome. Wonderful. And I'll have all those links in the description. Arkttype, thank you for coming on. And yeah, we'll have to do that part 2 here soon.
Looking forward to it, man. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button for me. Subscribe if it's your first time here. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.